Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. As you're my previous subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, we were supposed to be covering Donald Trump's future, but unfortunately, when I was doing my protection and protecting my energy sources and stuff like that, I felt really weirded out by everything related to Donald Trump. So I'm gonna steer away, and I've been practicing this brand new thing where whenever I try to record a YouTube video, I don't eat for that day until after that video has been finished recording, to try to increase my intuition level and my psychic abilities and enhance them because of survival instincts. So this will be probably about the third or fourth video that I've done where I've done that practice. So this is really interesting. I ended up asking myself and communicating with myself, well, if I can't cover Donald Trump, what can I cover? And I heard health. So in this video, I want to cover a lot of health related topics based on what they've given to me. So it's a little weird. Some of the questions that I normally would not be asking, but because they want me to focus on health in this regard, let's see what kind of information we come up with or information that's revealed to us in this video. So if you want to check the description below at a timestamp, I highly recommend it. This is where you'll be able to see certain section of this video. Hope you like it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and let's begin. So this video is being recorded on July 18, 2023 at 1:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And here are some quick disclaimers on your screen right now. Feel free to read them on your own time or pause the video to read them. Please keep in mind this video is just for entertainment purposes only and for education purposes only as well. Please keep in mind I'm not a medical practitioner or anything within the medicine field, so this is just for entertainment only. And again, like I said, I don't have a degree in medicine in any form or capacity. And here are some last minute disclaimers. Feel free to read them on your own time. So now let's get to the reading part of this video, shall we? So the first question that we have here is, where are we going as a society or as a collective in terms of our overall health? And I found that to be really interesting that this is the question that they chose to ask. So let's see. Where are we going as a society? So spirits and angels tell me, where are we going as a collective society heading in terms of our health, overall health? No, I'm not exactly sure if they're talking about global or United States specifically. So I guess in the context they're saying collective wise. I guess this is on a collective scale. So just say like, for example, 51% of the majority of all countries in the United States, I mean in the world, excuse me, or 51% of countries within the world decided to enact abortion laws into effect, well, then this would be indicating this aspect. So something like that in terms of society, it may not represent every individual country, but it will represent the majority. So we'll see what this means. Is it indicating the majority of countries in the world, or is it indicating the United States specifically? We're going to find that in a little bit. So, spirits and angels tell me, what are we going to learn as a society in terms of our overall health? So the first card that we have here in the past is we have the Hermit. And the Hermit card is really indicating to me, it's almost like in some capacity, we know that our health is not good. It's not as good as it should be. But because it's not as good as it should be, we don't know exactly how we can get better, like how we can go from A to B, or how can we improve upon certain things in our lives that we can't even afford to take time out of our own day to be able to see a doctor. And that's what it's kind of indicating to me here, is indicating the lack of being able to put yourself first because of certain circumstances that keeps you almost at bay, but keeps your health so far away that you kind of can't go to the doctor. Like, for example, what this is really indicating to me here is the timing in which doctor's offices are open. So, for example, if you work a 9-to-5 job, well, most doctor's offices are open from 9 to 5. There's very rarely that they're open from 5 to close. And most of the time, a lot of people don't have time out of the day or cannot afford to take time off to go see doctors, which ended up giving them a prescription and asking for a checkup within the next 2 weeks after you start them. Instead of doctors actually fixing the problem at first hand, they expect you to come follow up in another appointment at a later date. And that what this is showing me here is that has been a burden on people. It's been a burden on Americans. It's been a burden on a lot of people who cannot afford to go to the doctor, who can that take time out of their busy schedule, time out of their own day to be able to afford basic necessities just for self-love and appreciation and kindness and care. The current president is the Queen of Pentacles, right? And this card normally indicates to me it's pregnancy and abortion, right? Well, in this case, this would be a pregnant woman looking at her baby. It's reversed. So it talks about women's health specifically. It talks about the health of women and specific genders, like how some men are. Well, actually, this is what it really tells me because I just got almost like a refocus here. Even though it indicates, like I said, abortion and women's health, it is also indicating to me now it's on a greater scale. So what I mean by that is it's basically indicating to me that I'm talking about men's health and women's health and how certain things will be heavily focused on when it comes to women, but when it comes to men, it's almost like ignored. So, for example, like breast cancer, right? We focus that heavily on women because they have breasts, right? But there are sometimes medicine or people in general forget that men also have breasts as well, and that they are prone to the same type of diseases as women. And that's part of the idea here. Talking about here that in the Queen of Pentacles, there's certain genetic, no, not genetics, there's certain gender health problems that we face as a society that is not focused on because of the gender in which they are exposing themselves to. So, for example, like, if you are a woman and you have a certain disease that is oftentimes found in men, most of the time when it comes to the medicine field, because you're a woman, it is overlooked. Or they follow a statistic or data where say, oh, no, that doesn't make any sense. Somebody who's 65 or older, well, they're only supposed to get this, not a child. So we're going to overlook that diagnosis and try to find something else, even though it's theoretically possible that everyone is prone to the same type of diseases, regardless of age, gender, nationality, whether orientation, sexual orientation, you name it. Everybody's prone to the same type of thing. But what is indicating to me here is that it's the ignorance and the lack of ability to just be so analytical that you cannot see what's in front of you, even if the truth is right there in front of you. That's what this is indicating here. So where are we going as a society in terms of overall health with this specific card is telling me that we need to overcome the gender norms and expectations of analytical data that is kind of preventing our society from progressing forward, right? You also do have your evolutionary traits. Like society, in a way, is taught to demonize certain advanced traits that might be more of an evolutionary aspect to human evolution, but because it doesn't fit the societal norm, it is weeded out. And because of that, the humans that we have today may not advance evolutionary wise in the next, just say, 100 years. The only evolutionary traits that seem to be attractive at this point in time is intelligence and height. Those two are the big factors leading the next generation to acquire taller, more slim humans. Potentially, that is why you see so many young people within my generation and the alpha generation that came after me being very slim and thin, and that's particularly because that they were selectively bred to have those specific traits. We do have here, in terms of the right card, the future card, is we have getting out of troubled water into smoother, calmer water. And this kind of talks about scientific and medicine advancement and our technology to be able to advance forward and how we get there from plan A to B. There's also is indicating to me about nanotechnology, but also medieval. From a medieval standpoint, it is also indicating to me here as how, as like certain things that happened during the medieval time period will be brought back. Potentially, that may mean a virus that comes back and reemerges. Potentially, we end into a new pandemic where we have a smaller population on a global scale, but we need to learn to be able to use our technology to our own advantage. So it is indicating to me here in the future, though, it seems to appear that medicine is subjected to certain challenges that are coming our way. This also indicates climate. So potentially, how can we, as a society, as a collective, heal people faster, quicker, and better, and more effectively in a shorter period of time than just say the length it takes for a human to just recover a little patch of skin? How can we increase that recovery time so that we can be able to heal more people without taking up more space to be able to do so. It is also indicating to me here as well. Let's just say there was a national, like, national problem when it comes to climate. So I forgot the word for that. But like, just say a tornado and people were injured, right? But there's not a healthcare nearby because it got destroyed in a tornado. How can we as a collective or society be able to help heal those people at such a far distance? And that's going to be one of the challenges here as well. It's going to be about climate. So what's really interesting to me is where are we going as a collective society in terms of our health? Well, the first card is talking about time and self-appreciation, be able to find time within yourself so to be able to get the medicine and the help that you need to be able to be in the best working condition that you can. But unfortunately, because of our society, we're not able to do that because we live in such a busy go lifestyle, and including economic hardship. It is very hard to be able to put yourself first. This card is indicating certain diagnosis that is overlooked or perhaps not even considered when it comes to certain genders or protected class groups like gender, sexuality, or age and stuff like that. This becomes a major issue in the medicine field because medicine, it does not discriminate against people. It does not discriminate against anything. It will attack you regardless of who or what you are. And that's what it's indicating to me here is that analytical standpoint, data does not always, make the form opinion that one group is more subjected to something else than just say another group. Yes, they are more prone because that is what most likely is affecting that specific demographic, but that doesn't indicate that no one is immune to it because if they don't fit that certain demographic group. We do have here in this card, it is indicating an overall topic for today, that this is just telling me here that we're going to face challenges in the next couple of decades as a society, as a collective, in terms of how technology advances forward and how can we increase the recovery time. So that is where we're going as a society in terms of our overall health. So why is our food being poisoned and how can we overcome it? I find this to be a really interesting question. That this is the question I got intuitively. So let's just read it. I really don't know how to explain my reasoning for why this question is even here, but it is. So we're going to read on it. Just keep in mind, this video is just for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a medical doctor. I do not have a medical degree, so keep that in mind. So why is our food being poisoned and how can we overcome it as a society? Well, that's not so unsurprising. I'm going to use one card for this question. Okay, so the first card that we have, well, the only card we have here is the Two of Cups. Right, the Two of Cups is indicating to me here. If you look here, we have the line, then we have the wings, right? And the wings and the line is red, and the red means blood, indication of health problems or stuff like that, bleeding, internal bleeding, stuff like that. Then it's being wrapped by a pole, like a shoot down and wrapped by two snakes. That is oftentimes the symbol that represents medicine in the United States. Not sure about on a global scale, but I just know that it's the symbol for the United States medicine. Then we do have here an agreement or to a cup between two groups of people, two different subgroups that have come to this conclusion to say, hey, listen, what if I do this for you and in exchange I give you this? And then together we can make a lot of money. Right? So it feels like to me more than anything, why is our food being poisoned and how can we overcome it? It's telling me here that in terms of why it's being poisoned, because there is a mutual agreement between businesses that, hey, if I poison, just say your patients, then you will have a continuous supply of patients, which means that you have a continuous supply of money. And in turn, we're going to get the insurance company to pay you money and money and money. And then the insurance company is like, well, because we have so many clients coming to you on a continuous basis, we're going to skyrocket our insurance rate so that people pay more and we can pocket more money, but yet by making them stickier each time. And this is what it kind of indicated here is that it comes to a global scale. It becomes a pyramid in some form of capacity. It's just like there is the high point, which is the biggest person on the top. Then it just comes to a certain section. And a certain section of people who have the most say and who has the most power in causing food to be poisoned and how it's collected. So it's telling me here that even though it shows two groups of people, it's just showing a mutual agreement and understanding. But what it is telling me here is that there are multiple subcategories that are the main reason why for our food is being poisoned. Potentially, I mean, restaurants maybe benefit from sick people because they can't afford to cook at home, so they would go out to eat. Or, for example, grocery stores, right? People who cannot afford a lot, and because they're very sick, they have to rely on certain types of food, and therefore they can skyrocket that food price because that is a very small demographic that has no choice but to eat that specific food because that's the only thing that they can survive on. That's what is indicating to me here, that there are multiple categories and multiple subgroups that are in this mutual agreement and is pushing forth this food idea of being poisoned. Um, yeah, I'm just not shocked, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not shocked. Like, this is just something that I guess because we're so used to the idea, we know this, that it's not surprising. It confirms what we already knew, right? So again, like I said, a lot of people benefit on a business standpoint when it comes to people being sick. So why is our food being poisoned? Because money, money, money. That's why. So now the next question that comes after this is, how can we overcome that? Let's see. How can we overcome our food being poisoned? They're saying grow your own. Queen of Swords, grow your own food. You reap what you sow. But it is also indicating to me here that what you eat is how you feel. So if you feel very sad before you start eating, you will start eating sadness when you eat. But if you eat an animal that is in a state of fear, you will eat fear. That's why people in like other cultures say that if you cook an animal alive, it tastes better. But what they're tasting is fear. They're tasting adrenaline. Those things are not healthy for human immune system. It's not healthy for anything in society. The only way that humans are scavengers. They are meant to be scavengers, right? Hunting and berries gatherers, right? But also sometimes when an animal is dead, it just recently passed away, that is the best time to eat it because there is not this feeling of fear. They're just eating meat for protein, but not because you killed it because you're hungry, right? What this is indicating to me here, the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords, like I said, grow with your stuff. And I kind of see like this woman who's sitting on the chair, puts her hand down, and in her head, she sees this plant that's in the ground, this little seedling. She moves her hand up, indicating it's growing taller and taller, almost like she is giving it life and energy to grow taller, like Mother Earth. That is what this card is indicating to me, right? Even though we have the wind and the dust blowing in the background, you notice how she is clear. She is not fogged. What this is indicating to me here is that when you eat clean food, regardless of whether it's clean meat, like I said, when you eat meat that's not exposed to certain chemicals or even meat that is not exposed to emotions, when you are eating clean food, what this is indicating to me here is that the best way to overcome being poisoned to eat clean. Eat clean food. That does not mean, you can have fruit from the grocery store, right? But it does not mean that it's clean. It could be coming from and be farmed right next to a cow pasture where the cows are in a state of fear because they're locked up in a small confinement space being milked to death or then being forced into processing unit to become meat or hamburgers, right? What this is indicating to me here is that you need to be mindful of what it is that you put in your mouth. Because everything you put in your mouth poisons you, regardless of whether the company or the government is poisoning you with chemicals. Does not matter. Sorry about that. So it does not matter. So just say you eat a strawberry grown from your own garden, right? How you feel is what you eat, right? And whatever you feel internally. So if you feel angry and you're eating anger, that's poisoning you. That's poison, regardless if it has any chemical component or not. Your body can create chemicals of toxins within your own human body. So be mindful when you're eating. This is what it's indicating to me here is that even though, you can eat as clean as possible, right? But what matters is your state of mind when you're eating. That is the most important. How can you overcome it? It's your state of mind. That's how you overcome it. So the next question that we're going to cover today is, what can we do to achieve greatness in our lives? I find this to be really interesting because this was just something that just came to me out of the blue. let's read on it because I just really curious to see what this is indicating and why my intuition said that this will be a question that we need to talk about when it comes to our own health. Right? Health can be multiple things. It could be spiritual sense. It could be mental health. It could be physical health. It could be emotional health. Right? There are so many forms of health that are being indicated in this reading. It's not always just about one specific group of health. So, what can we do to achieve greatness in our lives, spirits and angels? So, the card that I got here was the Knight of Cups. And the thing that I heard when I saw this was keep your head up high and just walk. Just keep your head up high and just walk. So, how can we achieve greatness in our lives? It's basically keep your head up positively and just walk forward into every situation being positive. Always look ahead, what's in front of you, never what's behind you. Never look right, never look left, just look forward. Because in the end, even if you didn't learn from the past will repeat again. There's no reason for you to look backwards. Just take what your inner experience that you've learned over the course of your entire life and apply that to your next situation, to your next problem, or even to your greatest success. So, how can we achieve greatness in our lives? Is to look forward, never look behind, and always remember that we are destined for greatness. The thing is, for you, are you destined for greatness? What is the most important part of our body? Well, that was a very real question for my intuition to ask, but it's very important nonetheless. So let's find out. So now a lot of you guys are going to say the mind, the heart. Well, let's see what the cards say. I'm really curious. First angel, tell me, what is the most important part of our body? Oh, actually, I realized I might actually have a deck for this. Okay, so I found a deck. It's called the Body Tarot. And while I was finding the deck, I also ran across this deck called Energy. So I ran across this deck called Energy. And what's really interesting to say is that energy is really essential for all life forms and all life capacity, regardless of what it is. So we're going to answer the question using both decks. Find out what is the most important part of our body. But in order for us to heal, in order for us to be in the best form of our own health, how can we as a collective be in the best form? How can we expect that from ourselves if we don't even know what's the most important part in our body? So we need to find that. That's the most important question that anyone could possibly ask themselves. So in order to answer the question, what is the most important part of our body? Whatever you feel, I want you to watch this section. Then after this section is over, I want you to rewind back. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to ask yourself, what is the most important part of my body? And whatever the first one it is that resonates with you, whether it's the veins, whether it's the heart, wherever that is the most important part in your body. And that is what you need to focus on as a society, as an individual. So the first card that we get here is the Empress card, which talks about contentment. But this is the vein. And it's interesting how I talk about energy and how the first thing I saw was energy before I saw that deck. And in order for energy to travel, it needs something to travel by, like a tube, like a subway system. Right? Veins are the subway system of the human body. And energy is the little people going on that subway system, traveling throughout the entire body. And it's interesting because if you look at the universe and all life forms, in some capacity, energy travels and looks just like veins, right? And that card that came out here was the Door of Romance, the Heart, 33, the Heart, right? It's telling me to hear that some of you guys locked your heart away. Some of you guys prevented others from seeing from within. What does it feel like to be you? Why do I feel the way that I do? Why is it that I feel this way? Why? Then you have the three cards here that amplifies and clarifies the most important parts of your body. Envy. For some of you guys, it's your solar plexus. For some of you, it is your state of mind, your mental, your aspects. And the guardian and the gate. Right? Some of you guys have minds that are not pure. that are not very kind to you. You need to clear that. You need to fix that in some capacity. You need to understand that part of you and learn that aspect of you so that you can be able to be clear. Because that is the most important part of your body. Then we do have here indecision. Oh, for those people who feel this way, in terms of indecision, when I feel like you already had your life mapped out completely from the day you were born to the day you die, it's telling you that that lifestyle, that mindset, again, it's another mindset one, it's not healthy, right? The most important part of your body, depending on what it is either your veins, your blood capillaries, whether that is physical, whether that means energy. How you direct your energy is very important. The next one is your heart. Who you open your heart to depends on you. And who you allow to have access to you is important. So your collection of group of people that you're around all the time, that's important to your body. Surround yourself with people who are meant to be around you and who are within the highest form and people who you want to be surrounded with. If you want to be, a multi-millionaire, surround yourself with people who have the goal to get there. Don't surround yourself with people who are not millionaires, who will never get there because they don't have that goal in mind. Surround yourself with people who have like-minded goals as you. When it comes to your envy, do not be subjected to sorrow and jealousy. Do not allow your solar plexus to dictate your stomach, your gut, your anger, to dictate your direction in your life. Right? What this is telling me here is that you need to allow yourself to hone on and connect to your feelings on an internal atomical level. And to understand why it is that you feel this way. Talk to yourself, communicate with yourself, sit in silence for a little bit and ask yourself, why do I feel the way that I do? I'm sorry that you feel that way. So how can I overcome it? How can we overcome it? How can we overcome this feeling of guilt, of jealousy, overwhelmness? How can we, overcome that? The next card that we have here is the mental illness card. It's reversed. And what this is indicating to me here, for those of you guys who connect to this card, is indicating that you need to clear those thoughts. You need to feel everything that is passed you through. But anything that is negative, what you pay attention to, will be what you become. But everybody has negative thoughts. Everybody. But it's only those who chose to feed upon it, who chose to give those negative thoughts energy. That is why they are there. That is why your mind is not pure. You need to allow yourself to, see these negative things, to understand why you feel the way you do, and tell yourself, I know I cannot allow you to pass until I feel why I feel the way that I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself 5 minutes. I'm going to sit down with myself in a chair or whatnot. I'm just going to ask myself, why do I feel the way that I do? Why do I feel this? Why do I think this? Right? Give yourself 5 minutes. And then let those negative energy pass. Say you don't want to live in pity. You don't want to live in this energy anymore because you understand yourself. You're allowing yourself to understand and connect as a human conscious, but you're not allowing yourself to sit in those emotions. You need to sit in those emotions and then tell yourself to move on from them, to move them forward, that you understand how you feel. Because in order for you to let them go, you need to understand why you feel the way you do. Feel them, understand them, release them. That is the most important part for you. The next card here is we have indecision. Let it go. You cannot have everything in your life that's not meant to be in your life. Sometimes the things that you want in life is not what is best for us or what is best for you. What you need to do is you need to ask yourself, well, if I can't have this, then what can I do to make sure that I can have it? So, for example, it's changing your mindset. By that, I mean basically, well, maybe it's possible that maybe the thing that you want is not for the Chris that is currently here, that is currently present. Maybe that is for the Chris that is more mature, with more understanding, maybe who is more kind, who is more loving than the current Chris, right? What this is indicating to me here is that sometimes things are not meant to come to you right away. Something they're meant to come when you are in the correct state of vibration, That is what this is indicating to me here, that you need to be in the right vibration in order to receive what it is that you are seeking. So the last question we have here, your mind, soul, and love will take you further in life than anything else could. And I found that to be really interesting because that was the most intuitive thing that I've gotten in today's video, besides the reading, of course. But when I wrote this is what came to me. Your mind, your soul, your love will take you further in life than anything else could. I want you to contemplate on what this means to you. I want you to write it in this comment section of this video and let me know what does this mean to you. Because for everybody, it's different. And this will be the best way for you to start your journey on a healthy way forward. Thank you guys for watching. I'm so happy to have you. And I'm glad you liked today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.